I'm going to show you how to improve your Asian squat with your feet and knees in a wider position. This is similar to the Malasana in yoga. And if you watch through to the end of the video, I'm going to show you something you can do on a daily basis to improve your hip and leg strength so that you can control this deep, wide Asian squat position. So if you're ready, let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. First, let's talk about why you might want to do the wide-footed, wide-kneed Asian squat, Slav squat, Gopnik squat, whatever squat you want to call this squat position. For a lot of people, getting down into a deep, low squat can actually feel a little bit easier if the feet and knees are wider apart. A lot of times when you are narrow with the knees and your feet are together, you just can't get anywhere close to the floor because you lack the flexibility, you lack the control, the spinal strength is just not there. But if you go wider, a lot of times you can sink a little bit better and deeper into it while still keeping the spine in a better position. And then over time, you can work on bringing your feet in narrower. But first, you want to make some gains in some position, and a lot of times that means going to a wide position. Also, for certain sports, it may be really helpful to have the flexibility in your hips to get into a wide position and then sink so that your knees are coming up above the pelvis. For example, being able to do this will make sitting on a wide surfboard a lot more comfortable and will get rid of any back and hip pain that you may experience straddling a surfboard. So let's start off with some stretches to improve our ability to access that deep squat position. You're going to need something padded for your knee, and I suggest if you are somebody who's quite stiff that you use some blocks underneath or some extra pillows underneath to raise your stance leg up a little bit higher. So my right leg is here, left leg is here. I've got some padding under my foot because if you're on hardwood floor, your heel is not going to love this. You're going to have your foot blocked by the wall. The closer you get to the wall with your heel, the more intense this is going to feel. Your leg is out to the side, approximating what you're trying to accomplish with your wide deep Asian squat position. So think about what that angle is, replicate it here, and then keeping the knee straight, we're going to be leaning over towards the wall. It can be very helpful to use a chair to help you stabilize, and you're just going to go towards the wall, and you're going to feel some deep, massive stretching happening either in the groin or along the sides of the hamstrings or even straight down the hamstrings. Wherever you feel it is okay. We want to find those challenging positions and then slowly, gradually get used to being in them. We're gonna breathe here, relax. Do that for 60 seconds at least. Really feel into the muscle fibers that are complaining. You don't want to override them. So if you feel like your muscle fibers are saying, hey, this is really, really intense, then don't push farther. You're just gonna hang out there. Relax until the intensity level starts to wane. If you don't know what the word wane means, then I'd like to talk to your high school literature teachers. After spending at least 60 seconds allowing your muscles to adjust and relax, you can also start to experiment with using contractions to build strength in that lengthened position. That's going to mean you're pushing your heel down into the floor, contracting the hamstrings here to push down. Be gentle with this. Start with a light level contraction so you can feel that you're using the right muscles while you're doing it. Hold the contraction for 5 seconds and then relax it. When you relax it, see if you have a little more range of motion. Do it again, 5 seconds. Contracting gently, carefully, like 20-30% of your max right now. Then relax it and see if you can go a little bit further. But I want to do it harder. I know you want to do it harder and you want to do it at 100% intensity right now, but don't do that because you'll hurt yourself. Start off with lower intensities. Train the muscles to contract so you know you have good control and you have good proprioception. If you don't know what proprioception means, that's totally okay. Proprioception just means your ability to sense what's happening with your body. Many of us have terrible proprioception because we are trained from childhood to ignore the sensations of our body that tell us to get up and go outside and run around. In adult society, the better you can sit still for long periods of time, the more money you can often make. So you're going to do 5 to 10 of these contractions, keep working on getting further and further into it, and then you can relax. breathe, slowly work your way out of that position, and then you're gonna switch to the other leg. I want to say a big thanks to Judy, Maita, Ron, William, and W. Francis for your support of the Upright Health channel. If you want to support this channel too, please use the thanks button or the PayPal link you'll find in the description box. Now let's get back to some Asian squats. As you get more and more flexible, you may find you don't need that extra elevation, and you can keep sliding your heel in tighter towards the wall. Whatever works for you is fine. Just experiment with the heights, because those can really help you access deep stretch positions, especially if you're too stiff to have your knee just right down on the floor. Again, experiment with body positions, see how deep you can go in, find the angle that approximates the wide Asian squat position that you're trying to get. Keep the knee as straight as you can and carefully feel what muscles are being stretched, what muscle fibers are really being challenged. After at least 60 seconds, then you can start working on those contractions, pushing down into the floor, relax, and see if you can get deeper and deeper and deeper into the stretch. When you're finished with 5 to 10 contractions, starting light, please, then you're gonna go back to the other leg. You're going to set up in the exact same way, but this time we're going to modify it by keeping the knee bent. And you can play around with how much knee bend. There's no exact right answer that's gonna work for everybody here. Wow, that sounds kind of nihilistic. I'm not advocating for a nihilistic outlook on life. I'm just saying that there is a special context for every single person's body, and you need to experiment to figure out how your body responds to different angles, different challenges, and different positions. So this time with the knee bend, you're gonna find that the stretch gets targeted a little bit differently. You're gonna feel it in different fibers of your hamstrings, and that's the whole point. We want to be able to stretch out some of the proximal hamstrings. If you don't know what proximal means, that's totally okay too. Your proximal hamstrings are the ones that are closer to the core of your body. They're the ones up here, higher. So when you were doing the stretch earlier, you may not have felt it all up high. You might have felt it down near the knee. You might have felt it lower in the distal portion, meaning further down portion. Now we're gonna feel that stretch more in the proximal hamstrings, a little bit higher up. Again, use a chair if you need it to help you balance, to help you access the angles that you find most challenging, most stiff. And we're gonna do all the same stuff that we did earlier. We're gonna be holding this position for at least 60 seconds, and then we're gonna do 5 to 10 contractions with a reasonable level of intensity so you don't hurt yourself. And then we're gonna keep trying to get deeper and deeper and deeper to access that deep, wide Asian squat position. And then we're gonna switch sides, and please remember to play around with the amount of knee bend. You can go into a lot of knee bend and see how that feels. You can go into less knee bend, but definitely work on some amount of knee bend and figure out what feels stiff and challenging. You're gonna do the straight knee version and the bent knee version on both legs. If one of your sides feels much stiffer, then go ahead and do extra on that stiffer side. If you have the time, motivation, and discipline, then do 2 rounds of both stretches on both legs with a 3rd extra round on that stiffer side. Take a 1 to 2 minute rest so your body feels like it's recovered from all that crazy stretching. Then we're going to hold on to something sturdy. It can be a chair right up against the wall. It could be a stable couch, a handrail, something sturdy. And then you're gonna go into your wide foot and knee position, and you're just going to lower your butt down to wherever you feel the challenge starts. Once it feels like, whoa, I'm starting to cheat around my back, or it feels like you're losing your balance, or your muscles are shaking like crazy, that's where you stop. You just hang out there. Use this to help you balance. Hold the position for 30 to 60 seconds. Let the muscles in your hips work in this position. You're gonna feel muscles working. You're probably gonna feel muscles working. You're probably gonna feel muscles working. You may have a specific weak point. You may have multiple weak points. Just accept them, feel them, let the fatigue set in, and then relax. Rest for 60 seconds and then do another round of this wide squat position. This will help you build strength in the muscles that control this deep position. If you don't feel like you have the muscle strength to control it, your body is not going to let you get there. So exposing your muscles to this position will help them prepare and get used to this position, which will mean when you want to do this, you'll be able to do it, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. So do 2 to 3 rounds of this squat after you've done all your stretching, and then your workout is done. When you're starting out with any new workout, I would suggest doing it once or twice a week. Give yourself space, so Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Saturday, something like that, so you have time to recover and you don't cripple yourself with soreness. I cannot tell you how many times I get messages, comments, and emails from people who didn't listen to that advice and then are asking me, what should I do? I went too hard and now I'm hurt. The answer is don't go too hard, just take it easy, and you will make progress, and it won't be a horrible, terrible experience because you'll be taking it slow and gradual. But like me, you're probably impatient and you want to be working on something every single day to improve this. So here's what you're going to do. Get yourself some yoga blocks or a low stool that's adjustable, or just like a really low step stool, and you're going to work on sitting on that low surface. Go to a level where it feels like just a moderate challenge. It shouldn't feel super intense. It shouldn't feel out of control. You shouldn't feel like you're rounding your back like this, struggling to maintain balance. You should feel like you're still able to sit upright, but there's a little bit of challenge to the muscles of your hips. You can just hang out here for 30 to 60 seconds and just breathe. Let the muscles in your hips adjust, relax, and get used to this position. And when you feel ready, you can start building strength from this position. You don't even have to do this every day if you don't want to, but you can work on just raising yourself up off the surface and then come back down. Raise yourself up, come back down. You want to feel muscles working, maybe here, maybe here. You're just going to feel those working to help you come up and down out of that position. As you build the strength to come up and lower yourself back down, you're going to find that everything feels looser, feels more comfortable, and feels way more doable. And then over time, you can start knocking blocks away, lowering your stool until you're basically almost touching the floor. I would suggest working on this 1 to 5 minutes a day. Just go by feel. If it feels like a good day to push yourself a little bit, go for it. Build some of that strength. If it feels like a day where you're really sore and maybe you don't want to do it at all, maybe just do it for a minute and just do it at a higher level so your muscles are not so terribly challenged. And if it feels like, man, I really just can't be here at all, then take a day off. And one final note that can help you while doing this is you can use your arms to help pry your knees apart, because sometimes you may feel really stiff in these groin muscles and it'll feel like your knees are getting pulled in while you're trying to sit here. So it's totally fine to pull out a little bit. Again, light medium challenge for now, and as you get better proprioception, then you can work on being a little bit firmer and harder with how you challenge your body. But when you're a beginner, do not hurt yourself by being too intense. As you pry these legs apart, you're gonna find, oh, I can also work on this. And you're gonna find that you're challenging muscles in a totally new way. If you want more ideas to help you improve your Asian squat, then be sure to check out the videos I'm going to link here. If you want to support this channel, use the thanks button or the PayPal link that you'll find in the description box. And I promise I will not use your money to buy the jaws of life to pry my knees apart. Like, share, and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.